And now back to your regular programming.
If you speak better to yourself.
You showed up for probably the dumbest conversation we've ever had on this show.
Let's have that smile again.
Tell me how that happens. Physically should not happen.
Relax.
If you say
Give me as well.
3 times a day, God will line it up.
He's just an absolute hack, and he gets his ass kicked by the teammates every week. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to Hack City. DeLeone, Sean Anderson. We've got a lot to discuss. Lots happened this week in the NFL as we pretty much know who's in the playoffs, but certainly a lot to take away on who looks the best and who maybe is just barely sneaking their way across the finish line. Before we get there, though, Sean, where can our listeners make some money like you did on your big 6-legger?
Yeah, BetOnline is a great place to place your wagers.
Why are you gritting your teeth at that?
Because you can also go to BetOnline and place a Jayden Reed touchdown scorer, and it's Dontavian Wicks that scores, and I don't know because I suck at everything. BetOnline, that's where you want to do all your.
Well, you already hit your 6-legger.
I know, but I'm trying to stay hot. The kid needs to stay hot.
That's a fallacy.
I know it's a fallacy, but if you are in a very judgmental betting group chat like I am, and many, and somebody tries to dunk on you with their parlay that they hit, I like to send back a big meaty winner from BetOnline. Says, "Hold this. We'll take a walk with this one, pal. You didn't hit like I did today." If you want to torment your friends and really make betting toxic for yourself and your personal life, head to BetOnline. Don't forget to use the promo code BLEAV, BLEAV, for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.
There were a lot of exciting games this week, but Sean, there was no game more exciting than what happened, especially at the end of the Commanders-Eagles game. Jayden Daniels, despite having some turnovers, he rallies the squad. He leads a game-winning touchdown drive, one of the best touchdown drives of the season. He was unstoppable in order for them to reclaim the lead. Now, this is against Kenny Pickett, as Jalen Hurts went down with a concussion. Kenny Pickett, hilariously, of course, still can't win a damn football game, even if it's with the Eagles roster. But I open the question here, though, Sean, because there's not much to take away from the Eagles losing with one of the worst first-round picks in the last 5 years, 10 years, maybe even longer than that. Has Jayden Daniels locked up Offensive Rookie of the Year? There's possibility, Bo Nix, possibility, Brock Bowers, but it feels like Jayden Daniels has this thing locked.
I'm really glad you brought up Brock Bowers because he deserves the invite to New York. Basically, you did so great this year, Bo Nix.
Pat on his balding head.
If there was an exceeded expectation,
shit out of me,
Rookie of the Year, then you would have won that. But Jayden Daniels. And maybe we should start including Michael Penix in this conversation. Sorry if I'm speaking too early on that.
Why did I in the back of my head was like, should I jokingly bring up Michael Penix? No, Sean's probably going to do it on his own. And you did. You managed to do it. Hey, you threw for 200 yards and a pick of a weird, chest pass that Kyle Pitts threw.
Your guys put up a really good fight. Real good team.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations, man. You beat up on a JV team. Actually, thank you. You did us a good, a favor here. We're going to get to that.
I hate that you call them a JV team.
We're going to get to that, but Jayden Daniels.
Jayden Daniels is doing non-rookie things as a rookie. As a rookie, we see quarterbacks come on, and if they come on big time, right, and everyone's excited, it's typically, wow, their football instincts are so good, and people don't know how to cover against them. They don't know how to defend them yet, and they just are kind of loose playing football, still picking up the scheme week to week, and they're just more exciting, big play, big mistake type situation. Jayden Daniels is not doing that. Jayden Daniels is just playing quarterback at an incredible level with his decision-making, his protection of himself. When he throws the ball, you're certain it's going to get completed. You're shocked when he throws a pick. You're shocked if it's an overthrow, which is insane for a rookie. And his decisions on when to run, how to avoid hits, it's so impressive. He looks like a vet already. His composure is a 10 out of 10. Washington, you won the lottery. Congratulations. You won the lottery. Now do something with it. I think they're going to really try to do something with it. I think it's going to be a huge offseason for them, trying to find another receiving option. I don't know if big, heavy 35-year-old Jamison Crowder and Olamide Zaccheaus are going to continue to go for touchdowns every week in and week out. But what he's done is he has elevated a garbage franchise into a 10-win team in a season. An absolute tragic garbage franchise that gets invaded week in and week out by opposing fans and teams, and he is shattering narratives that surround the Washington Redskins, Commanders football team, whatever you're calling them. He has transformed them in a season. He is Offensive Rookie of the Year for sure.
Outside of statistics, and I think a lot of times with this award, it's really easy to make this decision based on just numbers. The impact that he has is so tangible in every game that he's played. Now, he hasn't been perfect this year. Again, in this game, he had multiple interceptions. But when you are able to see a game on the line, a drive where you know and you can tangibly just visibly see that they're going to go down and score, that he is going to just completely carry them to a victory, that is what makes him so special. And that is, I think, an unquantifiable aspect of why he should win this Offensive Rookie of the Year award. It's not like where, Bo Nix has played some good ball, but we haven't seen anything like this from Bo Nix. That's how you know you have the next face of the franchise, when you're able to throw in there a rookie who is taking over games, and more importantly, when he's not playing his best performance, still finding ways to keep his team into the mix. So no one else other than Jayden Daniels should win this award. Credit to Bo Nix, credit to Brock Bowers. They just have not had that same unbelievable level of playmaking that he has. You brought up Michael Penix, though. I'd, of course, love to hear your thoughts on his performance being a Falcons fan. Are you excited by how he performed in his first game? He only threw for about 200 yards. He had the pick. That wasn't his fault because Kyle Pitts can't hang on to the damn ball. Mm-hmm. But what did you think about Michael Penix?
Very encouraged by Michael Penix Jr. in this one, simply because it didn't look like he was playing outside of the offense. He looked like left-handed Kirk Cousins, when younger Kirk Cousins to me in the pocket, which I love.
I think there's never mind.
I loved that he was just
not even close to the same play style. Like,
he was dotting slants. He wasn't taking huge deep shots. He was just making the right decision when the right decision was called upon. He wasn't scrambling. He wasn't running all over the place. He actually tried to get away from some defenders and got caught up on the ankles like Kirk Cousins would do. So it tells me that this season, he learned from the vet, a good vet, not a great vet, and a vet that his time was up. Kirk Cousins' time was done for. And Michael Penix said, all right, I'm going to take what I learned all year onto the field, and that's what he did. All they needed to do was just run the offense, execute the offense, hand the ball off to Bijan, throw the ball to Drake London a couple times. He's going to convert some third downs. And look what happens. You won a ball game, you put up over 30 points. It's pretty simple, the way that this offense in Atlanta is schemed up. It's a good one for him. I'd like them to start adjusting for some deep balls, more to Darnell Mooney, maybe get the tight end involved. And we are not using his name right now because we don't know if he's going to be here next year. So the tight end needs to have a good last 2 weeks.
Number 8
needs to lock in big time because the Falcons are dabbling with the possibility that they may have drafted a really good quarterback.
Somebody shared, I want to see what year was Kyle Pitts drafted?
2021. Fourth overall. One in front of Jamar Chase. He was drafted.
Wait, so this was the picks that they came after Kyle Pitts.
Uh-huh.
The ones before him were not very good because it was Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Penny Sewell, J.C. Horn, Pat Surtain, Devonta Smith, Justin Fields, Micah Parsons, Rashawn Slater, Elijah Vera Tucker, and then after that, it's actually a little bit of a crapshoot, a bunch of shitty picks. But that is a list of. Did I just rattle off? I think I rattled off like 4 or 5 guys that are top 5 at their position, maybe higher than that. Some guys who could go on to be Hall of Famers that were passed up on to take a Mr. Kyle Pitts who can't hang on to the football.
He had 1,000+ yards as a rookie.
What happened? Something needs to be seriously studied here with Kyle Pitts because what happened? Why did it just disappear?
What Matt Ryan
did
die? Matt Ryan would throw the ball up to Kyle Pitts, and nobody else.
You think nobody knows how to arc a football?
Nobody
is that what
knows.
It is?
Every ball that's getting thrown to Kyle Pitts is low. It's like at his knees. They're throwing it to him like he's a slot receiver. He's 6'6" with the longest arms in the NFL, and they refuse to throw it up. When they have this year down the sideline, like Matt Ryan, weak, limp dick arm Matt Ryan used to in his final year in Atlanta, that guy wasn't a world beater, but he got 1,000 yards to this guy. Like, I'm sitting here thinking you almost have to retain Pitts another year to see if Michael Penix Jr. can do anything with him.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Oh, man, it's just such a tough thing to figure out.
Because if he goes to Kansas City and replaces Travis Kelce, they're going B.O.B.
Well, first of all, that is the reality here. As an Evan Ingram, I don't know if I'd classify it as hater, but as somebody who had to deal with Evan Ingram.
A victim of Evan Ingram ball.
Evan Ingram was tremendous his rookie season and then did nothing in his rest of the time with the Giants. Nothing. And then goes on to the Jaguars. This year hasn't really done much, but for a stretch, he was a top 7, top 8 tight end in the NFL because he was super athletic. Kyle Pitts is going to – I hope you're prepared for this. If Kyle Pitts does not resurrect himself in this final – 4th year of his contract? Fourth year. Okay, so he's got 2 more chances essentially before they're not going to trade him now. They're just going to let him walk probably. But you need to be prepared for that. If he goes to another team, he's going to suddenly become an all-pro.
Oh, no, I'm ready for it. And you know what? I've always rooted for him because he hasn't he treats the media well. Yeah, he's not a shithead. He's a fine dude.
It's not like Jeremy Shockey.
Yeah. He's very rootable. You know, you could really root for him.
I kind of rooted for Jeremy Shockey because he was
dirtbags did. But I just don't know.
You know, a dirtbag.
He busted up. You and Joe Kenny. You both love Jeremy Shockey. Oh my God! It's like, dude, he's like, when I first met him, he's like, yeah, I want to be like Jeremy Shockey, bro. I'm like, okay. Noted. Duly noted. I'm dealing with this is who you are. But, you know, he tore up his knee in his second year, which was brutal. I don't know if he's recovered from that. His routes have looked, I don't know how healthy he's been. It's always been a speculation from Atlanta fans and people that cover the team has like last year. Is Kyle Pitts actually healthy? A lot of people didn't believe it. And you see some of his in-breaking routes and out-breaking routes. And it doesn't look like it sometimes. Like it looks like he's still tendering that knee. And if that's the case, hey, let's run some slants or go vertical because he can beat anybody. He really can't. The matchup nightmare factor is true. He can do it. He's got great hands, but they refuse to get him the ball early because I think Zach Robinson, the offensive coordinator, is overstimulated with the weapons. God,
that's a terrible trait for an offensive coordinator.
I have to get Bijan.
Overstimulated.
I have to get Bijan
involved. An iPad kid?
I think he does a little iPad kid. I have to get Darnell Mooney involved. Drake London needs the rock. And Kyle Pitts, he's only a tight end. Maybe he'll get 4 targets. It's not good enough. The offense is better when he's involved. It really genuinely is. And they need to do that. If they're playing. This game against Washington is for the season. He needs 2 catches in the first quarter, and then they have a real shot. If he doesn't get targeted in the first quarter, done for. Cooked.
I'm excited, by the way, that we get to see that matchup between Penix and Daniels, and we weren't deprived of that this season. To the point, though, you're not really going to have a real true sense of what Michael Penix is based on how he did against the Giants. You're just not. But he did enough for his first ever start. There is almost never an instance where a rookie quarterback comes in and has unreal stats in their first game. It just doesn't happen.
It's like Cam Newton who threw for 430 and then he also threw for 3 picks in that game.
You just need to go out there and do enough. And that's what he did against the Giants. He didn't make any critical mistakes. He was better than Kirk Cousins off of that by just doing enough. Kirk Cousins was doing enough. And then because he didn't have the same level of juice on his ball, it was so easy to rip the thing out of the air. So that's gone.
It wasn't even that. It was the you can't push off the back foot because the Achilles is tough. So
I don't know how anyone thought that was going to work.
And then he's also, now that when we got out of October, double clutch Kirk came back where it's not a pump fake. It's I'm going to look at you, think I'm throwing, pull it back, and then quickly half arm throw it right to the same receiver and give the DBs a bunch of time to jump all over it. It's one of the most insane quarterback ticks that I've ever seen. That I can't explain it. I've never seen a professional quarterback do that double pump as many times as he has.
Well, every single week, Sean, we need to take a quick chance to praise God. Thank you, God, because it is Shedeur Sanders time officially for New York Giants fans. So we're finally in sole possession of the first overall pick. And we bring this up every single week, and I don't care if we're being redundant and over the top by constantly bringing it up. But thank you, Raiders. Thank you for winning a meaningless game that means nothing. I tweeted that Red Zone didn't really need to keep showing us the Jaguars-Raiders game, but that might have been the most important game in the late afternoon slate because that game meant nothing. It didn't mean shit. They didn't need to win that game. All I need here is the Giants finish out with 2 nice, easy losses. Just 2 losses. No effort. Put as little. You guys are all freaking checked out. Shedeur Sanders is going to be a New York Giant. And I continue to harp on this. He's the man that I want. As much as I love Cam Ward, I'm not going to be upset if it's Cam Ward over Shedeur Sanders. But I want a quarterback that wants to own the spotlight. I want a player that wants to own the spotlight and knows how to do it. This is New York. This isn't Cincinnati. This isn't Tampa Bay. We are in the mecca of media attention. And I think Shedeur Sanders is going to thrive in that, especially with not all the weapons, the singular weapon that you can throw to in Malik Neighbors.
It's amazing that every year we see these awful teams down the stretch fight to not have the number 1 pick. And that crazy freak pass from Aiden O'Connell to Amir Abdullah on a long, I think, 3rd down to save the game for the Raiders is unfathomable. It reminds me of the Colts interception that locked up a number 1 pick, and I think it led to the Texans getting Stroud. It reminds me of the Commanders converting like a 2-point conversion, which led to them not getting Joe Burrow and having the number 2 overall pick to draft Chase Young. Every year, there's a team that's drafting 2nd or 3rd that had opportunities to have the number 1 overall pick, and it just falls into the hands of whomever. And this year,
it's just some lucky idiots just kind of standing there and go, "Oh, hey, cool! Look at this."
It's the Giants with the stupid pinwheel cap and the drool coming out of the mouth.
Yeah, but that's the difference. No. But that's not the Giants aren't them in this situation. We're locked to F in. We're locked to F in. We're not falling for the trap here. That's what I said weeks ago. Don't lose or don't win some dumbass game that you don't need to win. Like the Thanksgiving Day game was a perfect example of that. That could have been a game that they could have gone out there and been world beaters and been unbelievable and won for no reason. And Drew Lock just does a little bit enough that everyone's like, "Oh, look at Drew Lock." And then he gets a chance to start next year or some shit like that. And then they just draft like Kelvin Banks or something with the 3rd overall pick. And then the cycle continues. No, they were locked in. They were locked in and loaded. The Raiders were the pinwheel cap and the tool.
Gotcha.
They don't understand what was at stake. It's like, "Oh, we won a football game, guys. This is so great. Look at us." No, you just lost out, possibly, and could be out of the running of either quarterback.
The Raiders, they're not taking it seriously. They're going to practice. They're watching film.
Yeah.
The Giants,
what a bunch of dicks.
The Giants are golfing. They're drinking beers during the week. They're having themselves a fun time. Hey, honey, you want to go out to dinner? Isn't it Wednesday? Normally you're ready for Thursday walk.
Oh, I don't need to do that. No. There's no film. We're just gonna go out there and play.
Let's see a movie after. Let's go. Let's go have ourselves a night. It's in season. This is shocking for you. Oh no, don't worry. I'm locked in. I'm doing everything I need to do right now.
Giants have lost a franchise record 10 in a row. So I actually didn't even know this when I had planned this segment. That win cost the Raiders a lot more than I realized. Beating the Jaguars might be a cataclysmic, meteoric F-up that could offset them and completely derail progress for improvement for the next 4 or 5 years. That, as a Giants fan who has watched multiple draft classes where they could have had top picks and they ended up picking 6th and taking a bunch of nobodies, this is now the top order. Goes Giants, Patriots, Jaguars, Titans, Browns, then Raiders. There's 3 teams in there, likely 2, that could take a quarterback. Not to mention a team in New England and a team probably in Jacksonville that will be heavily incentivized to trade out of that spot. Unless the Raiders got a big old bag of something, magic beans or some shit to move up, they're shit out of luck. Quinn Ewers, future Las Vegas Raider.
Did you hear the pontification coming out of Adam Schefter for the upcoming Giants-Eagles game? Where
what did
he was saying, the Eagles could really play some chess in this one and sit everybody and let the Giants win and set them back to have the 7th overall pick and keep them from having
Why
a
would he
franchise
say that?
quarterback.
Why would he
said
say that?
this morning, talking about how
Why would he put that in the air?
If the Eagles really wanted to keep a stranglehold on this division, where it looks like they're going to be competing with Washington for the next 5 or so years, they could really cripple the Giants by letting them win this game, given how tight the race is at the bottom this season. This Giants-Eagles game is going to be so interesting because the Eagles are going to lock up home field advantage. They don't care about the seeds at this point. What damage can we do on the way out? And you know what type of head coach they have? The type of head coach that yells at fans in the stands. The type of head coach that shaves his head for no reason. He's a maniac, and if they had any balls, they would start. I don't even know who they would start. Who's below Kenny Pickett?
Say that statement again. Do you think you need to go lower than Kenny Pickett to produce a negative result? Look, you bring up a very toxic point.
They were initially talking about the Saquon Barkley possibly breaking Eric Dickerson's record, or whether or not they would sit him. And Schefter said, "Oh, maybe not for the reason of keeping him healthy, but to sabotage the Giants."
Wasn't part of the ordeal with that Devontae Smith, Micah Parsons trade, wasn't that to keep the Giants from getting Devontae Smith? That was like part of the reason why they willingly, I forget what exactly it was.
I think they were boxing somebody out there.
I think it was the Giants. There is a disturbing reality that what you just said could possibly be true. And I think that Nick Sirianni's not smart enough to come up with that on his own. But is he enough of a online individual that would have been watching Get Up this morning and hearing that and going, hey, that's a great idea. I should fuck over the Giants.
You think Roseman's getting in his ear? Howie's getting on the blower saying, hey. Look,
yeah, what if we just put the punter out there?
We got a chance here, fella. All right? You like these easy 2 wins a year? Let's do this, okay?
Here's the craziest part about that, though. Brian Daboll could very well be out the door. Joe Shane could very well be out the door. Lovie Smith pulled this. He pulled this move. You know, the whole bit where he knew he was gone. They won a game that they weren't supposed to, and then it was
Lovie in Houston. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, it was Lovie versus the Colts.
That was right.
That was awesome. I love that. Yeah.
There is a disturbing possibility that Daboll could pull some shit like that.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I forgot that was Lovie. You're exactly right. Lovie was a legend for that. Oh,
he's out of the NFL.
Oh no, he's in my heart forever. Oh my God, I hope the Giants blow this.
Well, a team that's not blowing it, Los Angeles Rams, one of the hottest teams in the NFL right now, and I would argue they're the one team that I don't want to see in the playoffs this year. Now they beat the Jets, which isn't exactly a super exciting opponent to beat, 19-9. But the way that they've gone on this stretch, and we talked about the way that they played against the Bills, throwing up 44, the way that they played against just enough over the 49ers on Thursday Night Football. I just want to take a second here to acknowledge that this Rams team could be, despite the record not reflecting it, one of the most dangerous teams in this upcoming playoff.
I would hate to play veteran Matt Stafford.
Playoffs. This isn't the college football playoff. Playoffs.
Veteran Matt Stafford, who's been there before. Offensive line that plays mean is getting health and is healthier. Kyron Williams, who's been playing out of his mind this season at running back. And Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, and now I guess we're making big tweets back that Tyler Higbee has returned for the offense to really add that dynamo. I would hate to play the Rams.
Oh, you don't want to see the Rams when they get Tyler Higbee back.
I know. But look, the Rams are so well coached, and Sean McVay always feel every time you play the Rams, you go into it and if you're just watching, you're like, Sean McVay's a better coach than my coach. He's so much better than my coach. It doesn't matter. He's a fantastic schemer. He's a fantastic game manager. You're never looking at the Rams and thinking, how could they do that? How could they not be prepared for that? It's never a situation like that you get in Dallas or you get when the Jets were flopping all over the place with Saleh. There's never a situation. You're not ever without confidence with Sean McVay at the helm. I'm grateful that he didn't let his ego get too big and just run right off the TV. That was a scary couple minutes in the NFL. I think we were going to be out without this mind He's become less annoying. We haven't had as much spotlight on him, which is great. I guess some of that initial young lust appeal has worn off, and now he's just a really good ball coach. I'd hate to play the Rams.
Well,
in the
there's still
playoffs.
plenty of lust.
Oh, well, I mean, it's coming from us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But from the national media, yeah, the Rams always in the mix. It's such a good franchise to be a fan of, because if you're having a great year, everyone loves you. And if you're having a good year, you can just sneak right into the playoffs and make some noise.
Everything you just said is the biggest part of that. Is not only are they led by and anchored by a veteran quarterback who's won a Super Bowl, who's been through so much turmoil and has bounced back from so many difficulties, their defense is loaded with young players that are just getting better every single week. But the biggest part, and we said this and framed this as a negative, and I kind of regret not framing the positive side of this at the beginning of the year when they were dealing with all the injuries that they had. They're getting healthy at the right time. It's the opposite of what happened with the Lions. The Lions are getting banged up right now. The Rams are the team that is returning all of their important starters, like you just mentioned a second ago. Everybody is ready to go. You being the team that is getting healthy and guys had time off before the playoffs start, I really wouldn't be shocked if the NFC Championship game does not feature the Rams, because the playoffs are where we remove these teams were good and they were really dominant and they're well-rounded and they've got superstars, to which team has the best coaches. Because as Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid say every single year, you just got to get in. It doesn't matter where you're seated or where you're playing. The better coaches prevail. Sean McVay is going to be what keeps him alive.
Is the difficulties and turmoil the nice way of playing in Detroit from 2009 to 2016?
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. I just wanted to make sure that
not only
that's what he overcame was playing there before the success.
Here's a really unexpected turn that's happened here at the end of the season. The Dallas Cowboys have been on a heater. Sunday Night Football, they come off of a win, 26-24. Has Mike McCarthy saved his job? Jerry Jones has spoken as if that seems to be the case. This is the end of his contract at the end of this year. They can go in any direction that they want. They don't need to fire him. They can just let him walk and let him go right off into the sunset. But I got to say, as critical as at times we've been of Mike McCarthy, and anybody's been of Mike McCarthy, the fact that this team literally has nothing to play for, and Cooper Rush is going out there and has no reason to be dotting up defenses and slinging it to CeeDee Lamb, who's got a bum shoulder, who's wincing in pain every single time he touches the football. For that to happen and this result to be produced, Josh Jacobs just scored.
Yeah,
your boy's about to survive the toilet bowl. For all of this to happen, I think Mike McCarthy comes back.
No, there's no way. This is...
How are you going to no-sell that?
This is Dad stopped drinking for a month because he got too loud at the pool one day and tried to fight another guy over T-ball. This is
that's something that
had to, no. But this is.
I'm not saying that you're close to home for you. But that's going to be you.
This is. He was on some bad behavior, and now he's putting on the tie and he's helping out with the dishes at home and he's taking out the trash before he's asked to, because he knows he's on thin ice. And Mike McCarthy is a grifter. He's a boob in the NFL. He's never known how to manage the clock. He never looks like he knows how many timeouts he has. He's an absolute albatross on the modern sideline in the NFL.
He's Jimbo Fisher. He's NFL Jimbo Fisher.
NFL Jimbo Fisher.
So wait,
incarnate.
Are we going to get pictures of him in Planet Fitness with his triceps popping while he's doing tricep pushdown?
I'd love to see Mike McCarthy Ozempic up and then also taking a little bit of trend and deciding, hey, I got some time on my hands. I'm holding the menu in front of me jokes anymore. I'm Mike McCarthy stud coming back looking like Vrabel.
I'm pitching this to the next coach that gets fired with a big buyout. And Brian Kelly, this is you.
Oh, yeah.
What you just said, hop on Ozempic and hop on some trend. You've got $100 million to do whatever you want. Get in the gym and just come back. I'm not saying get muscular and lean and in good shape. No. I want you to be unnecessarily large. That's what I want.
I just
win the job interview that way.
McCarthy and Dallas is so played out. It is so done for. They would you know what? I'm actually giving Dallas too much credit. I'm giving Jerry Jones way too much credit for their management of the team this past year to think that they were incapable of bringing this guy back to coach America's team. They are infinitely capable of the most disastrous decisions, and this would be that. You know what? Cowboys fans, expect that he's back because the incompetency is at an all-time high within that decision-making room.
Now, another coach who could be on the hot seat, there's speculation. There's a possibility that this guy gets canned. I don't think it's going to happen. Does Jerod Mayo, the Patriots head coach, does he get a second year? That is what I think a lot of people possibly could be speculating right now. The reason why I don't think it's the case is we need to really contextualize. They lost 24-21 to the Bills. Now, a lot of people might be thinking they had the game in their hands. They started off hot. They could have won the football game. They forced turnovers against Josh Allen. Let's take a quick second to revisit that. They lost 24-21 to the Bills. What more do you expect from Jerod Mayo in his first year with a rookie quarterback and a dog-ass offensive line and a receiving core that's still figuring itself out?
Yeah, you could just say offense there. You know, we wouldn't even have to qualify it with a line.
I think we need to remind ourselves here for a quick second of what an undertaking he was handed to follow up Bill Belichick, a roster that he ran into the ground, to start everything from scratch. What is with people that are saying that this guy should be fired? Am I missing something? Is it just the way that he's responding at press conferences, that he's got a little bit of an attitude sometimes? He's got a losing season. Of course he's frustrated. He's about to have a top 3 pick. Let him go pick a tackle or a receiver. Or he's probably not going to do any of those things. You got to, because there's no players that fit that mold. But give the guy a chance. Well, it's not like he's getting blown out every single week like Brian Daboll is.
I've actually been sneaky impressed with the Patriots this year. I think they've fought in every single game that they've played in. I think Jerod Mayo is a good coach. And I've actually been happy. I thought it was a little dunce-ish with how they were handling Brissett and May at the beginning of the year with expectations for them. But once May started starting, it didn't look. They haven't put the brakes on. They're letting him go out. Somehow he continues to get better with his awful offense every single week. I'm not bailing on Jerod Mayo. I'm going all in on the offense this off season and in the draft, and I'm going to try my best to help him out. But I think Bill Belichick knew Jerod Mayo was a really good coach. That's why he set it up that he would become the next coach of the Patriots, because he believed in him. That's why I don't think Bill Belichick is keeping anybody on his staff that he doesn't think could become a head coach or could rightfully do their job in a competent way. He fits the mold. He's a New England guy. I think he's done. I think he's done well and exceeded my expectations for this Patriots team. I thought they were going to have the number 1 overall pick this year. I was certain of it. I thought they were going to be awful. That Brissett was going to start 15 games and May would get in the last 3. And no, they fought. I think they're treating this season a bit like an extended preseason for the pieces that they're going to want to keep, which is great. Get the reps in. Get your feet underneath you, because next year we're going to want to be able to compete. And I think they're actually in a decent spot for that. It's crazy to say. I hated the Patriots and the Patriots fans my whole life, but they're in a good spot. They might have hit the lottery also. This could go down as one of the best quarterback drafts that we've ever seen if the Bears can get their act together.
I think that it will. And I think that the way that you get right in this situation is trading out of that 2nd overall pick. Get somebody who is super geeked up on Cam Ward and try to move back. If it's Tennessee or it's Cleveland and you're able to have a top 5 pick and maybe to have, does anyone have 2 first-round picks?
Somebody that we know mocked Travis Hunter to
I don't hate that. Like, I don't hate that of them.
Is he going to be opposite Christian Gonzalez, or is it
that's actually Christian Gonzalez and then play a little bit of receiver?
I'd play him both ways there. I'd let him be Troy Brown in New England. Go ahead. And then Troy Brown eventually picked wide receiver, but he did both. He could do both.
If you could trade back a hair, and I'm not seeing anyone that no one has multiple first round picks this draft. If there was a way to get yourself in a night, the problem is that they need linemen. And this isn't a good lineman draft. They need to get like Tyler Booker or Kelvin Banks. I wouldn't take Will Campbell at 2nd overall. That's way too early to take him. If you got Mason Graham, wouldn't make sense because you're kind of set at defensive tackle. It's like your best position right now. They could go in any direction, but O-line needs to be addressed in the offseason and in this draft.
Yeah, I'd hope so. The NFC East is way more fun when the Patriots are chippy. The AFC is way more fun when the Patriots are chippy. And next year, they could be in a position to really, they could sweep the Jets next year, and they could split with the Dolphins, which would be huge for them.
At Joe DeLeone, at Sanderson Radio, at Hack City Pod. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. No midweek show this week. Happy holidays. Talk to you folks later.